So first thing we're going to do here is we're going to take our 1x6x8 pine board and we're going to cut the bases first. So we're going to cut 5 bases for the bottom of the lanterns, and they're at 5.5 inches. So I'm just going to take my speed square here and mark them at 5.5, and let's get 5 of these cut up. What you can do is just stack this one on top, make sure it's flush, put the blade down, slide it back, it just ever so slightly rubs. We're good to go. We just cut the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The perks of having a small workshop. Gotta move everything around. Hey, room for the table saw. Damn, and this drawer fell out. Now that we got our table saw out, it's not ideal that we don't have like a table saw spot and a miter saw spot like some of these other big workshops, but you know, we work with what we got and we're happy about it. So table saw is all set up. We're going to set it to 3/4 of an inch, and then we're just going to run our board and make some long 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch pieces. And safety first, guys. Safety first, guys. Ow. You may have actually seen me flinch just there, and that's because this knot just blew away and hit me in the hand, and it actually hurt. So make sure you got your safety goggles on, like I do right now, because that piece could have easily hit me in the eye, and yeah, that's not good. So okay, we'll take this piece out now, and we'll just cut the remainder of the strips to exactly this. Walk around the camera. Walk around the camera. Forget this. Walk around the camera. So for this last piece, to run it, just to get that little bit of edge off, I can't use my tool because one of the legs doesn't actually touch. So it wobbles. So that's where we just grab a piece of scrap wood, same thickness, put it there, and we can run this through as well. This is all that's left. So we have 6 3/4 by 3/4 pieces. And now from this, we need to cut. Each piece should be 8 3.5 pieces and 4 10-inch pieces. And they should all fit on one of these. Mark my table saw and I'll wipe it off after. Now I can take this, put it right up to my mark. So one thing I am noticing is that obviously I have probably a rougher blade than I should, but I'm getting some tear out, right? We'll sand it off after, not the end of the world, but a little bit more work, but maybe a more finishing type of blade on my saw might help the process go a little bit cleaner. Now that we've done the 8 pieces of 3.5, let's see, do we have enough for 40 inches? We do not. Yeah, there's gonna be a little bit extra because we have 6 of these guys and we only need 5. So maybe I'll cut this in and cut this in and I'll leave the knot out of everything, which would work. We'll do all 8 small pieces first on our line, and then we'll come back and cut all the 10s. Now for the 10-inch pieces. I'm just going to mark the 10-inch piece, and then I'll cut one. There we go. Now we got 4, and then it's 4 for every base. This is going to be our nailing station also. It's the everything table. You know, if you guys have a recommendation for a build that is, you know, it's a super cool table, let me know, and maybe I'll build myself a new table. God knows I need everything. All right, so here's the next thing we need for our little setup. But because I have these little tears here, I'm gonna just give everything a quick little sand, just to get. Whoa. We have our nail gun. We have some glue. The brad nails we're gonna be using are 1 1/4. Who's the Boss uses this nice little trick here. Instead of like putting the glue every time, he actually spreads it out over a scrap piece of wood. So he does this little scrap piece, spreads it out a little bit, and then what he does is he's going to take his the bottom, right, little dab. We're going to glue it and nail it to the inside of a long piece. Okay, so you can match up the grains if you want, and we're going to put it on, make sure it lines up. And when we're nailing it in, it's going to be difficult, but nails tend to go perpendicular to the trigger. Go like this. I seem to have put too much glue on that one. So, you know, we're learning. I never built this before. So I'll wipe that away. And I'll actually just spread this glue out a little bit thinner. There.